Good morning, folks. Hope everybody's enjoying the session so far. We've talked to you about the updates of the fiscal year 18 programs for clean energy programs. We've talked to you in depth about the ESIP program. We want to get into a little bit more of how do you make this all go. Based on the show of hands that we had originally at the beginning of the program here, quite a few of you have been doing this for a while and done multiple projects out there before. So what I'm telling you is probably something you're already doing, but we wanted to make sure we talk to you about how you can talk about closing the deal. And we're here to help you with the whole process. We have account managers, both residential, and most of the residential account managers are in the next room at the moment. And we have C&I account managers, so we have Jim Friedel in the back corner here, Mike Masterpasqua, he's way at the back wall, and sitting with him is one of the other outreach support folks is Rudy Rella. So if you have questions about how to get involved in these programs and you need a little bit more hands-on because this is newer or the particular program is newer to you, then they're available to you to come out in the field and work with you, work with your customers to be able to help you get past the initial entry point into the project. So I wanted to kind of go back to some basics before we got into actually selling the project. And many of you probably already know this, but just as a refresher for those of you that do, and for those of you that are new to the programs, this is the Clean Energy Program mission. It's a statewide program offering financial incentives and programs and services for New Jersey residents, business owners, local governments, and to help them save energy, money, and in the environment. No, I will not read every single letter on the rest of the slides. I just wanted to make sure you know what the definition is. If you leave today and say, what was that mission? That would be really good to put in my literature. I'd love to be able to share that with my customers. You can actually go to the Clean Energy website, njcleanenergy.com, and be able to actually find that information there in case you've forgotten what the details are. If you haven't been involved in the programs before, or even if you have, you might want to remember that these programs are administered by the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. And this is how it's all put out into the marketplace to be able to offer all these incentives and services for you under these programs. And they're all funded under the societal benefits charge. So pretty much everybody's paying these on the utility bills. For those of you that have been doing this before, do you check the utility bills with the customer early in the process to make sure they're paying the societal benefits charge? Show of hands, yes? I'm seeing nods. Okay. For those of you that aren't, I highly recommend that you do that early in the process. Make sure that they're paying the societal benefits charge on either their heat bill, gas or electric bill, to make sure that they're eligible for these programs. And if you run into a situation where they're not, then you want to reach out to the implementation team or the account managers to make sure whether or not a particular project is eligible for incentives before you start offering them to your customer. So building from the mission, the program goals are to save energy and lower operating costs. It's designed to help protect the environment and lower emissions, and then change the business mindset. And that's what you all are out there doing, is helping to change the business mindset. So we've kind of been surveying you as we've been going. So some of these questions, we've talked to you about a few things. I have a good idea of who has been involved in what program over the years, but we wanted to ask you some additional questions. What company types do we have out there? So how many people are from a contractor? Okay, we have a few. How many of you would classify yourself as an ESCO or a turnkey company? Okay, quite a few. Architects, engineers? Okay. And just out of curiosity, any distributors, suppliers? Okay, that's good. We've basically hit the whole gamut here of the trade allies that actually can help produce all this. And we're trying to talk to you about the opportunities and how you can actually make this all go, how you can close the deal with your customer. Those of you that have been doing this for a while, do you have a standard business model for going out and working with your customers? And I'm seeing some heads nodding. So that's one of the things we're going to talk to you about is what are the steps to actually selling to your customer. So if you're out in the marketplace, how many people are competing with suppliers or contractors that aren't already dealing with the clean energy programs when you're out in the marketplace? Show of hands. Okay. And when you actually compete with them, do you find that more often you are winning those programs or projects or not winning those projects? Winning? Everybody pretty much on the same page? I dealt with a trade ally years ago who said, you know, put me up against somebody who is not involved in any of these energy efficiency programs. And I can, after I talk to them about the features and benefits, what features they're looking for, and the benefits of the programs, the benefits of the technologies, I can get any project that I need or that I want. So if you're involved in this, it gives you resources, it gives you some background to be able to work with, to be able to help promote the projects and complete the opportunity for both your customer and for you. What do we have as far as technologies? Do you focus on a particular technology? So let me rephrase the question. How many folks are focused on HVAC? Okay. How many folks are focused on like lighting or other kinds of electrical technologies? Okay. And so those are your primary focuses on what you do. How many people are doing whole building? So for those of you that are working on just lighting or HVAC, have you considered teaming up with another contractor? If you're a lighting contractor, have you considered teaming up with an HVAC contractor? Or if you're vice versa, if you're an HVAC contractor, have you considered teaming up with a lighting contractor? You know, Mike mentioned a few minutes ago, if you're doing ESIP, and this also applies to a lot of the other programs you'll see as we continue some of the conversation through the day, think about going beyond just what they initially tell you that they're looking for. Build the box as big as you can and put as many of the pieces into it. Go for as many of the energy efficiency measures that you can. So if you can team up with another organization that's offering something that you're not already offering, then it helps to close that gap. What kind of sectors are we working with? So I saw a few smattering of hands on ESIP. So how many people are involved in, like, we'll lump it all in one, local government, schools, universities, okay, a few. Retail, okay. And how about commercial space, like offices? Healthcare, okay. You guys each one of those sectors has great opportunities for being able to promote new technologies and to promote energy efficiency programs to be able to get your customer to buy into actually signing on the dotted line. How do your customers find you? I'll ask for people to answer. How do they find you? Are you like promoting in magazines? Are you promoting on commercials? How do they find you? Anybody want to? Word of mouth. Okay. Website? Get referrals. Okay. Do you find that most of the customers that you're dealing with are already pretty well versed in energy efficiency technologies and the process, or, and I'm seeing some heads nod, in the negative fashion. So that's kind of where I'm at with a lot of them. You know, if you're dealing with bigger customers, obviously they might have more experience and might have an energy manager on site, so there's certainly more experience on doing those kind of things. So what you want to be able to do is draw out of them what they actually need, and that's what we're going to talk about, is the steps to selling to your customer. We recognize that one of the biggest barriers to making this all happen is just plain the first cost of the equipment. And so these programs are out there to be able to promote incentives to help pay down the first cost and to help the customer be able to build these benefits into their particular project. So when you're sitting down with your customer, you want to identify the customer's needs, but look beyond the face value. And going back to the use a bigger box. If somebody calls you up and says, oh, well, the lighting is really low, I want to improve my lighting, or I'm spending too much money on my HVAC system, find out what else is going on in the space. Make sure that you've captured all the things that they need to do. You want to make sure you find out what kind of features they actually need for their systems, for their facility, and talk to them about the benefits that they actually desire. As I said, they were looking for improved lighting, a better lighting layout. Maybe they don't know what they don't know. So that's your job to be able to talk to them about that and work with them through the process. Once you've gone through the entire process with them, again, keep prodding, find out if they need, maybe they're actually putting in a generator in addition to wanting to upgrade some lighting. It's great to be able to try and lead them into a CHP program. So you want to make sure you capture all of these different needs that they have. And once you get all that pulled together, you can put together a design which sells the energy efficient features that meet their needs rather than just selling up from the common technology. It's very easy to go with the lowest common denominator. Well, we'll just put in this. For those of you that are going to hear about the lighting presentation in a little while, we're going to talk to you about some of the methods that you look at with lighting as far as not just looking at the lowest common denominator. A lot of people tried to walk in and start having a conversation with their customer about how much budget do you have available for this. That generally, I would say you want to flip that. You want to go out and talk to them about what they need first. Find out what their benefits are. And then you put that design together. You come back to them with a price. And then if they have some objections on what they're seeing for the price, then make sure that you're giving them what they want. Have you provided them the features and benefits? You've included all of those that they wanted and that they asked you for. So if you come in with a price on a project of $4,000, and I know some of you in the room are saying, I don't even get out of bed for $4,000, but if you come back with a price of $4,000 and they say, well, we've got one of your competitors that has a $3,000 price, make sure you've checked all the boxes and let them know you're checking all the boxes and compare it to the competition. Did they check all the boxes? Does that offer them all the features and benefits? And I think most often you'll find that the competition doesn't necessarily have everything in there that they're looking for.